On my birthday, I came across a viral thread on a relationship forum. My boyfriend's fiance is deaf. How do I get him to drop her? The comment section was flooded with reactions.
Boyfriend, fiance, are you trying to be the other woman here?
The original poster replied,
They've been together 8 years without a ring. It is clearly not true love. How could I be the other woman? Don't jump to conclusions. Maybe she is the clingy one. The fiance sacrificed her hearing to save him in an accident, but I see that as emotional blackmail. Love can't be forced. Why don't you test the waters? All right, today happens to be her birthday. I'll see which one my boyfriend chooses.
Soon after, an iMessage popped up. Carter.
Hey babe, I have to work late tonight and can't do your birthday dinner. I'll make it up to you tomorrow.
The screen dimmed. On the dining table lay steaming dishes on one side and a clinic diagnosis on the other. My hearing had returned. I reopened the girl's profile. What is it like dating a guy 7 years older than me? Numerous photos filled the page. Fine dining travel snaps, property deeds, and countless luxury cars and designer bags. The only glimpse of him was a hand gently smoothing her hair. I stared for a long time. His index finger bore a bite mark timed perfectly from the night before, when I'd bitten him while we were making love. The wedding band on his ring finger had been replaced with a matching promise ring like hers. I blinked, and a string of tears fell onto the screen. My nose stung with a sour ache. I couldn't believe it.
I'll come stay with you at the office.
I texted. Carter replied instantly.
No need. Get some sleep.
But I want you to celebrate my birthday with me.
Half an hour passed. No response from him. Instead, I spotted a downtown club location tag on his Instagram story. Following the trail, I found Carter there. He was playing a drinking game with a group of guys. A girl was perched on his back, fidgeting restlessly, pinching his cheek, tugging at the cigarette in his mouth, acting like a mischievous kid. The scene stabbed at my heart. I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Stop it.
Carter said, grabbing the girl by the neck and pulling her in for a deep kiss. Cheers erupted. Her face flushed, and she settled down a bit. I stood frozen at the entrance of the VIP section, my entire body stiff.
Your little side piece is kind of cute,
Someone said.
Take it easy tonight, Carter. Remember last time? The poor girl's legs were shaking after she had to go to the AR for fluids. Got any sense?
Carter stubbed out his cigarette and kissed the girl again.
Did you hear that? No seducing me tonight?
Chase teased with a laugh.
You are tying the knot next month, man. Better enjoy the wild times while you can.
Someone chimed in.
Really lost interest. Why not just call off the wedding?
I stared fixedly at Carter's lips. My throat felt dry.
Nothing's changed.
He said.
Just bored.
Gwen doesn't make a sound in bed like a piece of wood. How do you stand it?
I instinctively covered my ears. Tears fell like heavy raindrops. When I wanted to hear, I couldn't. When I didn't want to hear, I heard everything.
She went deaf for you, you ungrateful bastard.
Someone muttered. Carter lit another cigarette. His voice grew hoarse.
That makes it even more pointless. I'll carry this debt forever. She loved me for 8 years, Chase. Not marrying her would make me a monster.
Only a buzzing hum filled my ears. I staggered, grabbed a beer bottle from a nearby table and hurled it at their booth. Glass shattered everywhere. I wept uncontrollably with rage. Carter rushed over and signed to explain.
Company project dinner, don't misunderstand. Calm down, don't cry. I'll take you out for your birthday. Let me just say goodbye to them first. My fiance is crying. I gotta go.
Carter said aloud, picking up his coat. The girl pulled him back.
What about me? Is she your fiance or your mom? She is so nosy, such a buzzkill.
Carter shrugged. As if joking, he said,
She is just dramatic like that, annoying.
To my ears, it struck like thunder, blinding me white.
It is fine. She listens to me. I'll go back and calm her down.
I turned and walked away. I hailed a cab outside the club without waiting for Carter. My mother's words echoed in my ears.
Gwen, what have you gained by turning your back on our family for that man? If you are certain he loves you, then go otherwise. Come back and accept the marriage arrangement.
I wiped away my tears. Pulling out my phone, I sent my mother a text.
Mom, my hearing has returned. I'll be back soon to accept the arrangement.
In the end, Carter found me by the riverbank. He crouched down, holding a slice of cake. He lit the candle, the flickering light dancing in his eyes, tender and gentle.
Happy birthday, wifey.
He signed. My tears had long since dried in the night breeze. I stared at him. He was such a good actor. He'd deceived deceived me like this for so many years. The last shred of anger was squeezed dry by heartache. I signed back.
How many years have we known each other?
He replied.
8 years. You moved to New York with me, cooked for me in our cramped apartment, washed my work clothes, massaged my shoulders every night later. When that warehouse accident happened, you sacrificed your hearing to protect me.
Carter's expression softened with nostalgia.
Back then, we were so broke we had nothing but love. We huddled together in an apartment with a broken radiator. You worried I wouldn't eat enough, so you always claimed you weren't hungry. Everyone looked down on me, but you were the only one who supported me. Gwen, you were my entire world back then. We fought so hard to make it.
I watched silently as his hands moved, gesturing through those memories. It was like a dull knife slicing through flesh, bloodied and aching, so he remembered it all. Who stood by him when he started from nothing? Who cherished him above all else? Who loved him year after year? Then he gained everything. But I was no longer his everything.
Let's break up.
I signed. After signing those words, my hands felt too heavy to lift. Carter froze. Then he smiled.
Don't say things you'll regret.
He signed.
I didn't mean to miss your birthday. It was a networking dinner. I couldn't back out. We have our whole lives ahead of us. If we missed it this time, there is always next year.
Tonight, Carter and I slept in separate rooms. He didn't ask why. He just kept glancing at his phone, a smirk on his face. I handed him the clinic paperwork showing my hearing test results. Distracted, Carter crumpled it into a ball and tossed it into the trash without a single glance. I closed my door. The forum thread had been updated. Original poster.
My boyfriend got dragged away by his fiancée. Wanna bet he'll be in my bed in 2 hours? Give it a rest. The side chick actually has the nerve to brag. Girl, are you even listening to yourself?
I listened to the sounds outside my door. If he stayed, I'd give him one last chance. But 2 hours later, a photo was uploaded. A man's face buried in a girl's neck, both naked, clinging tightly together. Original poster.
He is here. I'll say it again. I am not the other woman.
Then came an audio clip, Carter's voice.
My sweet Chloe is the one I love most.
The comments shifted instantly.
You two are totally meant for each other. That fiancé must be toxic. Going deaf is just karma. Support the up in kicking out the deaf fiancé. Wishing the young couple the best.
I stayed up all night, tears streaming down my face. I tore up the wedding invitations and the custom favors I'd spent half a year preparing. Along with them went all those meaningful mementos of our relationship. Not until the sky began to lighten did I stop. My eyes swollen, I stepped out of the bedroom just as Carter walked through the front door. He was carrying a bag of breakfast.
I went for a morning run and grabbed us some food.
He signed. A piece of lace ribbon peeked from his jacket pocket. Carter caught my gaze and awkwardly shoved his hands deeper into his pockets. His phone rang. Princess Chloe flashed on the screen.
Babe, you took my panties.
The girl whined sweetly on the other end.
You stuffed them in my pocket yourself, so I just walked out with them.
Carter turned away.
I missed you, so I took them out to look at them.
You creep.
All right, I'll wash them and bring them to your dorm this afternoon.
I couldn't describe my feelings at that moment. Was it more hatred or more disgust? I pulled away from Carter's attempt to hug me. I signed to him.
Are Chloe's lips nice to kiss?
You investigated me?
He signed back, staring in disbelief. He protected that girl well, so well that even I had to dig to uncover her details. Chloe, sophomore dance major at NYU, local girl.
We've known each other 8 years. We're about to get married and you treat me like the enemy. What about our trust?
He signed, masking his guilt with anger.
There is no trust left between us.
I replied. The breakfast bag crashed at my feet. Coffee splattered, soaking my sweatpants. Carter walked out without looking back. After that, he didn't come home for half a month. Chloe's posts updated as usual. Daily vlogs shared their date adventures and showcased the elaborate meals Carter cooked for her. On the table sat a specific pasta dish Carter had created just for me, now glaringly displayed before another girl. I recalled last year when I'd mentioned craving his cooking. Carter always claimed his startup kept him too busy. He'd order DoorDash or hire a private chef, but never once cooked for me himself. This year, with the company preparing for an IPO, he grew even busier. He'd go days without coming home, and I'd prep meals for him to take to the office. Who knew he'd suddenly find the free time to cook for Chloe now? That evening, the NYPD called me.
Miss, a vehicle registered in your name was involved in a collision.
I rushed to the scene right across from the main gates of NYU. Several storefronts were damaged. The red Porsche was wrecked beyond recognition. The custom dashboard ornaments I'd collected from around the world lay shattered in a heap. Police officers were questioning Chloe.
I accidentally hit the gas.
Chloe cried.
I just got my license a few days ago. I am not used to it yet. It is all this stupid car's fault for accelerating so fast. Stop interrogating me. My boyfriend is coming to pay for the damages.
This car was bought with my first major paycheck. It held immense significance. Rage surged through me. I lunged forward and slapped Chloe across the face. She screamed and fell to the pavement. Many of the onlookers were her classmates.
Did she just hit Chloe? She is dead. Her boyfriend is crazy protective. Seriously, last time some guy catcalled Chloe, her boyfriend beat him so badly he ended up in the hospital. They say he knocked his teeth out.
I stood over Chloe. I slapped her again left and right. Suddenly, a powerful force shoved me back. I slammed into a brick wall. Blood gushed from my nose. Darkness swirled before my eyes, while cheers erupted from the college kids around me.
Chloe's boyfriend really makes you feel safe.
Carter helped Chloe up. After checking her from head to toe, he glared furiously at the culprit. The moment our eyes met, he froze.
Babe,
He instantly dropped his hold on Chloe. He charged toward me. I dodged him and got up on my own. More whispers swirled around us.
Did he just say babe? What is going on? Why is Chloe's boyfriend so worried about this woman? Could she be his side chick? Seems likely. The crazy, clingy type. Anyone can see he loves Chloe more.
Those words stung my back like needles. A dense, searing pain. Carter showed no intention of explaining. To protect Chloe's reputation on campus, he let them call me the other woman, call me crazy. Yes, he thought I couldn't hear, that the gossip wouldn't hurt. But that didn't mean I had no dignity, no need for respect. Tears threatened to spill. My voice caught in my throat, neither swallowed nor expelled. My hands trembled as I signed at him.
We will never speak again.
Carter suddenly roared at the crowd.
shut the fuck up, all of you. Anyone who takes a video or spreads a rumor is getting sued.
Instant silence fell.
Babe, let's go home first. I'll explain everything to you.
He signed. His consolation felt so hollow.
Why is my car with her?
I signed, my eyes burning red. A flicker of guilt crossed Carter's face before being replaced by irritation. He snapped at Chloe, something he rarely did. Are you fucking crazy?
I gave you the garage code, the master keys too. With all my cars, you had to go mess with hers. Don't you know how she gets? God damn it, she nitpicks over every little thing.
Before, he called me sentimental. Now, I was nitpicky. Chloe burst into tears.
You said this car's color was tacky. I've wanted a new one forever. What is wrong with me taking it for a practice drive?
The veins on Carter's temples throbbed. He drew a long breath, turned, and had already composed his expression.
Babe, forget it. Kids don't know any better. It is just an old car. I'll take you to the dealership to order a new one tomorrow, okay?
He signed.
We're getting married soon. Don't let this little thing ruin it.
The air in my nostrils thickened with the metallic tang of blood.
I said it before, we're done.
Carter's brow knitted tightly. His patience snapped, erupting violently.
Gwen, will you fucking shut the hell up? It is just some outdated piece of junk.
He thought I couldn't hear him, so he vented all his resentment through his words.
Yeah, you saved me. I wish you fucking hadn't. This debt is suffocating me. Is this really necessary? We're gonna get married anyway. Why do you always have to jump to conclusions and make everyone miserable? I need freedom. I am not your damn dog. I need someone to talk to, not a mute who can't even make a sound in bed. You are the one who killed our relationship.
I could scarcely believe those words came from him. The boy who promised me forever had changed. The Carter from back then wouldn't even raise his voice at me. He worked multiple warehouse shifts just to pay our rent and buy groceries. His old winter coat was patched over and over, and he wore the same pair of boots until the soles fell off. Yet, I always had a brand new North Face jacket to wear. I loved trying new foods. Our tiny kitchen was always stocked with my favorite snacks, trendy pastries, expensive imported chocolates. He'd split a cheap frozen pizza for himself, yet never let me go without. He'd say,
I'll never let you suffer. I'll give you the best life.
those vows were long dead. A torrent of emotions finally burst from my throat, erupting into a scream.
Carter, you bastard.
He froze in place. Then came panic, the sheer terror of impending loss.
When did you start hearing me?
On my birthday,
I said aloud.
when I heard you say I was a piece of wood, that I was dramatic, that you were only marrying me out of guilt. Carter, where is your conscience?
The 8 years I poured into him, 8 years of unreserved love. In his eyes, it was worth nothing. The world seemed to hit mute. Carter's mouth hung open, unable to form words, only emitting a strange guttural sound from his throat. He tried to grab me. I jerked back a step, avoiding contact as if he were something repulsive. Blood still flowed from my nose. It trickled over my lips, carrying a heavy, metallic taste.
When?
I echoed his words, my voice hoarse and strained.
When you lied to me time and again about working late. When you held her and called me annoying. Carter, I must have been blind to choose you.
Tears fell in streams. Our love had long been unequal. I loved too much, always carrying the heavier weight, forced to constantly look up just to see him. It was exhausting. I couldn't do it anymore.
Gwen, no, let me explain.
I slapped Carter hard across the face.
Explain what? Explain how you promised to marry me while stuffing her underwear in your pocket? Explain how you reminisced about our past while sneaking off to sleep with her. Carter, you are completely rotten. You don't even deserve to be mentioned. You are ruining every good memory we ever had.
Dead silence fell around us. The college kids who had just been envying Chloe and calling me the other woman now stared wide-eyed. Chloe rushed between me and Carter. Hands on her hips, she yelled at me.
How dare you blame Carter? You already have the ring and the title. What more do you want? You don't understand him at all. Is love something you can control? If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for not being able to keep your man happy.
I slapped her across the face. Chloe froze, a bright red mark appearing on her cheek. Before she could speak, I grabbed her chin and said coldly,
When Carter and I started dating, you were still in middle school. What right do you have to lecture me?
I didn't spare them another glance. Turning away, I roughly wiped the blood and tears from my face with my sleeve. Straightening my back, I walked through the crowd. In the taxi, the driver kept glancing at me through the rearview mirror.
Miss, are you okay? Do you need me to take you to the hospital?
I stared out the window at the city streets rushing by. After a long moment, I shook my head.
To the airport.
Carter, you said this debt of gratitude was suffocating you. Now, I've carved you entirely out of my heart. You are free, and so am I. The plane touched down late at night. The town car sent by my mother was waiting outside the terminal.
Miss Gwen, it has been years. How have you been?
Arthur opened the door for me. Seeing that familiar face, I couldn't help but choke up. Arthur sighed, straightened the new scarf around my neck, and patted my shoulder gently.
It is good you are back. Your mother was right all those years ago. Don't sacrifice your own life to build a man up. You can never be sure he won't forget who held the ladder once he reaches the top.
The car's heater was warm. A shopping bag sat on the passenger seat containing a brand new iPhone, a SIM card, and a note. The familiar handwriting was my mother's. Get some rest first. Arthur suddenly spoke up.
Your mother hasn't been in good health these past few years. She didn't want to worry you, so she never told you. Miss, I'll speak from the heart. Ever since your father passed, you became the only thing keeping her going. You hated her for blocking your path back then, for pressuring you, for trying to break up you and Carter. You even cut ties with the family. In your eyes, she was just the ruthless CEO of the family trust. But she is also a mother. She was terrified you would suffer. She wasn't trading you for corporate resources like you thought. She was merely trying to find a partner who could actually protect you.
I lowered my head, tears blurring my vision.
I was too stubborn.
The car pulled through the gates of the family estate. At this hour, Mom should have been asleep. But when I walked into the foyer, she was dozing on the sofa, still clutching an old photo album.
Mom.
Her eyes fluttered open. As our gazes met, both pairs of eyes reddened.
You are back.
That night, Mom told me many things. How she'd stood by my father as they built their real estate empire from nothing, only to have his mistress taunt her while she was pregnant. Though they stayed together for the sake of appearances and the business, their marriage had died long ago. I lived through it because I survived that hell. I refuse to let you walk into the same trap. At least, there is still time. I watched the pale dawn light seep through the massive windows, nodding softly. Thankfully, there was still time. Chloe's posts kept updating.
What should I do if my boyfriend is icing me out? He hasn't texted me back in days.
Beneath this plea for help, the once supportive comments had vanished.
I saw you two the other day near NYU. What boyfriend? That guy is engaged to a woman who built his company with him. You are just the side piece.
This comment was upvoted to the top, followed by hundreds of replies.
Wait, is he the CEO of Carter Tech? My friend works there. She said his fiance supported him when he was broke. They lived in a dump for years before the startup took off. Apparently, while you were posting TikToks with him, he was finalizing his wedding registry. with his actual fiance. You are both trash. Poor fiance, if I were her, I would have keyed his cars and ruined them both.
Chloe replied in a rage.
Love doesn't care who came first. Everyone has the right to follow their heart, just so you know.
This statement instantly ignited an even fiercer backlash.
Are you actually delusional? A homewrecker trying to sound deep. I genuinely thought you guys were some cute couple.
Seeing the situation spiral completely out of control, Chloe issued a hollow threat.
This is cyberbullying. Just wait. I am having my boyfriend's lawyers send you all cease and desist.
But this time, Carter didn't swoop in to save her. That threat hung in the comment section for hours, garnering only more scathing ridicule and memes. Finally, it vanished without a trace. The next day, her entire account was deactivated. Meanwhile, Carter was in a complete mess. The lead investor pulled out. The IPO is delayed by at least 6 months. Carter massaged his throbbing temples, his phone screen still frozen on his text thread with Chloe. She kept double and triple texting, pleading.
Carter, when are you coming over? Everyone on campus is bullying me. Please do something.
Reading those whiny messages, he felt suffocated for the first time. What once seemed fresh and adorable, that youthful clinginess, now felt like nothing but an immature headache. He closed her chat. His fingers instinctively tapped open his thread with me. The last message still displayed his perfunctory reply.
I'll make it up to you tomorrow.
It turned out that after that day, I had never texted him again. He hadn't even noticed. The massive apology text he tried to send bounced back with a message not delivered alert. I had blocked his number. Call after call went straight to voicemail. A week had passed since I left. He was still waiting for me to calm down and come back to the apartment. He wanted to sit down, talk seriously, lay everything out. He promised himself he wouldn't yell again. He would show up to the wedding venue in 3 days as planned. He'd already paid the florist for my favorite champagne roses and had the wedding planner execute every detail I'd ever pinned on my mood boards. Carter believed I would walk down the aisle. This was the life they'd worked toward for 8 years. If I showed up, he would cut off everyone else and be the perfect devoted husband. He would never stray again. Wedding day. Carter stood at the country club entrance early, dressed in a custom tuxedo. Guests arrived one after another, but I was nowhere to be seen. Chase stood beside Carter, nursing a drink.
I don't think Gwen is coming, man. With how stubborn she is, it'd be a miracle if she ever looked at you again. No offense, bro. But you played a stupid game and won a stupid prize.
Carter's face went completely pale.
Why don't you just marry the college girl since you...
Will you shut the fuck up?
Carter yanked Chase by the lapels, his eyes red and manic. Just then, his phone buzzed. An Instagram notification. He instantly dropped Chase, his fingers trembling as he opened the app. My profile. No caption, just a single photo. I was wearing a breezy linen shirt, leaning against the railing of a sailboat with a bright, genuine smile. It was a relaxed look Carter hadn't seen on my face in years. And my waist was encircled by a man's arm. His face wasn't visible. Only his shoulder and arm were in the frame, leaning intimately against my side. What is it? Chase leaned over to look and sucked in a sharp breath. Holy shit! The murmurs from the seated guests grew louder. The officiant stood awkwardly at the altar looking at his watch. Carter sprinted out of the venue like a madman, dialing my number over and over as he ran to his car. The number you have dialed has been disconnected. An icy wave of dread finally crashed over him. Where was he supposed to look? He had no idea. He didn't even know what city I was in. Carter stood helplessly in the middle of the country club parking lot. A car honked at him, but he barely registered the sound. Where should he go? How was he supposed to find me? Tears spilled down his face. His mind was consumed by a single crushing reality. He had truly lost me. The day after I moved back into the estate, my mother introduced me to Julian. When the man in the light gray cashmere sweater stood up in the sunroom, surprise flickered in both our eyes. It quickly dissolved into warm smiles.
It is you.
My mother looked taken aback.
You two know each other.
Julian nodded, pulling out a chair for me with effortless manners.
We went to Columbia together. I asked her out, but she turned me down later. She moved to a different borough, and I went to grad school in London. We just lost touch.
He spoke casually, yet it stirred memories I had long boxed away. Back then, I hadn't met Carter yet, My college life was entirely focused on classes. Julian was famous on campus, top of the dean's list, old money family, incredibly handsome. But his quiet, academic nature meant he rarely dated. Honestly, I never even realized Julian was hitting on me. While other guys brought girls coffee or flowers, he brought me a rare botany lab culture he'd been propagating for 3 months. While others asked girls to bars, he asked if I wanted to observe his thesis experiment. While others gossiped, he debated philosophy and architecture with me in the library.
Off to study with your platonic soulmate again.
My roommates used to tease. Nobody thought Julian was romantically interested. They just thought we were a pair of nerds. It wasn't until he bluntly confessed his feelings before graduation that I finally understood. And I panicked and pushed him away. Years later, my mother had asked me, "Why didn't you give him a chance?" I replied, "I thought he was too boring." And now, after surviving the chaotic, consuming, and ultimately destructive fire of loving Carter, I had come to crave the quiet, steady warmth of a man like Julian. After reconnecting, being around him felt like breathing fresh air. Julian was observant and deliberate, memorizing how I took my coffee, what books I liked, what side of the car I preferred. Whenever my mood dipped, he smoothly redirected the conversation. He never once interrogated me about my 8 years with Carter. Only when I briefly mentioned a painful memory did he reach across the table and take my hand.
That chapter is closed.
He said softly.
I am the one writing the rest of the book with you.
I knew Carter was tearing the city apart looking for me. Gossip filtered back through the grapevine. He stepped down as CEO, sold his shares, and was frantically hiring private investigators. He even went to the cheap walk-up apartment we used to rent in Queens. He tried to buy the building just to get into that unit, eventually pushing the landlord to message me on Facebook.
Gwen, we're not selling our retirement property. Please tell your crazy ex to stop sleeping in his car outside our building. No amount of money is making us sell.
A few weeks later, Chase left me a voicemail.
He is destroying himself, Gwen.
I listened to the message, feeling absolutely nothing. Some burns, once they scar over, lose all their feeling.
Just unblock him for 5 minutes, tell him off if you have to, but give him closure. Don't be so cold.
Chase pleaded. I stared at the phone.
Who was the cold one when it mattered?
I said to the empty room. I deleted the voicemail and blocked Chase's number too. Julian knew all of this was happening. He never interfered, but one evening while making dinner, he casually mentioned,
I can have my family's lawyers handle him if he is bothering you.
I shook my head. Don't waste the billable hours. He is not worth our energy. The October evening air carried a sharp chill. Julian handed me a wool coat as we stepped out of the restaurant. Put this on. Wait under the awning. I'll go pull the car around. Wrapped in the coat, I idly stepped on the fallen autumn leaves on the sidewalk. The wind smelled like roasted nuts and exhaust, the classic scent of the city. As I turned away from the street, I spotted a man leaning against a brick pillar in the alleyway. His face was half hidden by a messy, overgrown beard, revealing only sharp cheekbones. The glowing cherry of a cigarette flickered in the shadows. I instinctively looked away, not wanting to make eye contact with a stranger in the city, until the cigarette was dropped and crushed under a boot.
Gwen?
The voice was wrecked and raspy. I froze. Slowly, I turned my head. Under the harsh glow of the street lamp, I finally recognized him. It was Carter. He looked so terrible, I barely registered it was him. In my mind, he was always dressed in sharp suits, exuding arrogant confidence. But the man standing 10 feet away, his eyes were hollow, his clothes hung off his gaunt frame, and he looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. We stared at each other.
I've been looking everywhere for you.
He took a step toward me. I immediately took 2 steps back. He froze. He swallowed hard.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Gwen, please don't be afraid of me.
He struggled to breathe.
I just needed to know you were okay.
I am fine.
I said flatly. Carter looked down at the pavement. I couldn't tell if he was staring at his shoes or just trying to hide the fact that he was crying.
That is good.
The traffic hummed in the background, filling the heavy silence between us.
Gwen, is there any chance? Even a fraction of a percent, 8 years, I can't just erase it. I know I have no right to ask, but please, Just give me one more chance.
He kept his head bowed the entire time, as if simply saying the words out loud had drained the last ounce of life from his body.
We both have to move on. That door is permanently closed.
As I spoke, I saw tears hit the concrete at his feet.
Does he treat you right?
His voice cracked.
Better than I could have imagined.
Good. That is good.
Carter muttered, like a broken record trying to convince himself. Just then, the headlights of Julian's SUV swept over us. He parked at the curb and stepped out, immediately placing a protective hand on the small of my back.
Everything okay?
Julian asked, looking at the man in the shadows. I nodded. Julian sized him up.
You look like you've had a rough night, buddy. We were just heading home.
Carter finally lifted his head, his bloodshot eyes darting from my face to Julian's hand resting on my waist. It was a casual gesture of ownership, natural and intimate.
Who are you?
Carter choked out.
I don't believe we've met.
Julian said smoothly, his posture relaxed but firm.
I am Julian. I went to college with Gwen. I am also her husband.
The air turned to ice. Carter tried to force a polite smile, but his face twisted into an expression of pure agony.
You are married.
Technically, we weren't yet. The wedding was scheduled for next month, but I knew Julian said it to surgically remove any lingering delusion Carter was clinging to. I'll get out of your way, Carter whispered. He turned around and stumbled down the block, fading into the dark city streets. I didn't know how Carter got my new address. A few days later, he was standing on the porch of the townhouse, holding a bakery box.
What do you want?
I asked through the cracked door. He held out the box, looking pathetic.
Cinnamon rolls from that bakery in Brooklyn. You used to talk about them all the time. I drove down and got them fresh. Just take them.
I took the box.
Thanks.
I shut the door in his face. I watched through the security camera as he stood on the porch for 5 minutes before finally walking away. I opened the box warm, perfectly glazed cinnamon rolls. Exactly what I used to beg him for on Sunday mornings. I threw the entire box in the trash. Julian came downstairs from his home office and noticed the garbage.
Who dropped those off?
Carter.
Julian raised an eyebrow.
Should have checked for poison. If he keeps doing Uber Eats runs for us, we can fire the private chef.
For the next week, Carter never rang the bell, but every morning a takeout bag was left on the steps. Each contained something I used to love. New England clam chowder, spicy jambalaya, even a platter from the halal chicken cart near our old cramped apartment. Maybe the smell of the food triggered old stress because that night I dreamt of the club, the cheating, the screaming. I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat. Julian immediately clicked on the bedside lamp. He didn't ask questions. He just pulled me against his chest. Let me read to you. He grabbed a biography from his nightstand. His voice was deep, steady, and grounding in the quiet room. He read aloud, gently rubbing my shoulder until my breathing slowed, and I drifted back into a dreamless sleep. I never had another nightmare about Carter, and the takeout bags stopped appearing on the porch. As our wedding day approached, Julian handled every single vendor, contract, and detail. All I had to do was point at things I liked. He made it happen. He even had the venue construct a massive glass greenhouse so we could be surrounded by orchids.
I'll be honest, I had to Google half of this stuff.
Julian confessed, handing me a perfect white orchid.
In college, guys bought girls' drinks. I brought you petri dishes. I had zero game. I spent years reading psychology books and asking my married friends for advice. I thought I'd finally figured out how to be a good boyfriend, so I moved back to New York to find you. But you were already taken.
I stood on my tiptoes and kissed him.
You are the one standing at the altar with me now.
Timing is everything.
Julian smiled, wrapping his arms around me.
We took the scenic route, but we got here.
Sunlight poured through the glass ceiling, warming my skin.
I am never letting you go.
He murmured.
I'd never let you.
We kept the wedding small, just family and the friends who actually mattered. As the officiant asked for the rings, my gaze drifted past the seated guests toward the back of the garden. Standing in the shade of a large oak tree, far away from the crowd, was Carter. He looked healthier, dressed in a simple, clean button-down shirt. He looked exactly like the broke, ambitious kid I had fallen for in my early 20s. He watched the ceremony without blinking. His eyes moved from the train of my dress to my veil and finally settled on my face. I couldn't read his expression. Was it grief, regret, or just final absolute surrender. Carter reached up and wiped a tear from his cheek. He gave a small nod, looked right at me, and mouthed the words,
"Be happy forever."
When the crowd clapped and I turned back around, the space under the tree was empty. Carter never tried to contact me again. He disappeared completely. Years later, I took my daughter on a weekend trip to a scenic mountain town. While we were walking the grounds of a historic monastery, one of the monks smiled at me.
Ma'am, Brother Thomas has been tending a prayer for you.
I paused, confused. Following the monk's gesture, I looked through the misty courtyard. He led us to a massive ancient oak tree where visitors tied ribbons for their loved one. On a weathered wooden tag tied with a faded red ribbon, I saw my name.
May she live a life of peace, safe and loved, free from all fear.
My daughter tugged on my sleeve, looking up at the tag.
Mommy, who wrote that?
I gently smoothed her hair.
Just someone hoping we have a good life.
The monastery bells began to chime, echoing through the valley. Julian walked up the stone path, holding an umbrella in one hand and 2 caramel apples from the town square in the other.
Got the good ones with the peanuts.
He smiled, handing one to our daughter.
Ready to head home?
I took his arm, leaning into his warmth.
Yeah, let's go home.